Hi, I'm Laara Cerman, and today I'm going to show you about the hue saturation adjustment layer. So here is an image that I shot of a zipline in Mexico. And what we're going to do is we're going to go down to this half black, half white circle, click on it, and then we're going to go up to hue saturation. And then this is going to create a new layer of the hue saturation layer, and it'll automatically create a mask with it. And then you can see right above it in CS4 there's this dialog box. You've probably played around a little bit with this by adjusting this hue slider. You can see that you can shift the entire image, give it some wacky bright colors, make it really saturated or desaturated. But we're not going to play with this master dialog. So let's just set this all back to 0. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to shift this blue in the sky, make it a bit more saturated and a touch bluer. To do that, let's go up to, click on Master, and let's go to Cyan, and we're going to click on this eyedropper tool. So you click here, and then we just click on the blue. And we can't see what we've actually selected, like who knows what we've selected, the green, or the blue. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to temporarily shift the entire blue to something really dramatic. Let's just push it all the way to the right. You could also push it to the left, it doesn't really matter, they're the same color. Okay, so we can see that we've selected all of this blue here, all the cyan, rather, and let's set this, so that's a good selection, let's just leave it. So let's set this hue back to 0, so just highlight it, hit 0, and let's just move the slider a little bit to the right. Okay, you can see it's getting a bit bluer. If you go to the left, it gets more cyan and really more green. Let's go a bit more blue. So we want it to be in the plus. Let's go +5, plus 5. Okay, and then we can make it more saturated. Just move the saturation there. That's way too much, I think. Let's just leave it around here. And then I don't like to use this lightness layer because this lightness slider because it removes all the contrast. But I'll show you how it works. If you move it down, you can see it basically is desaturating it and making it darker. So if you adjust this by making it darker, you probably have to just increase the saturation more to make up for it. I don't like using that, so let's just put it at 0. Okay, let's leave it at around +30. See, so this was before, and this is after. And now let's try adjusting the green in all the trees and shrubbery down below. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this circle, the half black, half white circle again, and go up to hue saturation. And then let's click on the master drop-down menu, click here, and then go to yellow. So click on the eyedropper, and let's click on the green, and then shift the hue again just to see what we've selected. So we can see we've selected all this. But what we're going to do is these sliders down here, we're going to grab one end and just push it so that they're all together. Okay, so now, again, click on the eyedropper tool and click anywhere on the green. And then now you can see that less of the color has been shifted, so we have less of the green selected. And to select the rest of this, see this green that hasn't been selected, we're going to click on the eyedropper with the plus tool right here. And then just click on what you haven't selected yet. So now you can see what's part of the hue saturation selection. Okay, just click. And then if you look closely, let's go zoom in a little bit, not a very high-res image. You can see these edges aren't feathered very well, and even here in the water. So to feather that, what we're going to do is you're going to grab one of these end sliders, click on it, and just carefully move it. Okay, do you see how the thatched roof has changed now? It's probably too much. We don't need it to be just a little bit. Maybe up there. If you move this side, you'll see that the slider on the right side, it doesn't really affect anything, so just keep it where it was. Okay, so let's set the hue back to 0, and then let's make it a little bit more green, so just move it a touch to the right. Okay, so we don't need to move it too much, and I think that's still a bit too much. Okay, there, so +10. And you can see the change. It just looks greener, and then the sky. So this was before, and now this is after. Subtle, but it's best to be subtle with this hue saturation adjustment layer. Okay, now let's try with another image. We can be more drastic with the change here. So again, down to the adjustment layer panel, and then click on hue saturation, and then see, since it's all white back here, and you can't shift white with the hue saturation layer because there is no color there. You can just move this in the master dialog. Now it might be it is changing actually this white a little bit, so of course it would be best to go into the red. It's more red than yellow. Click on the plus, on the eyedropper tool, click on the orange, adjust the hue all the way to the right. Now we can still see it selected this quite well, but let's just push these sliders together just in case, because I think it's selecting some of the white. Okay, so eyedropper tool, click on the orange, and then we need to add this rest of the orange to the selection. So click on the eyedropper and the plus tool, just select it. Oops. Okay. Now it's selecting a little bit of the wall, but that's okay because some of this orange is being reflected on to the white. So let's feather it a tiny bit because you can see it's kind of speckled here. Okay, so it's more orange than magenta, so we're going to go to the slider on the right because you can see it's more orange here. I think it's more magenta and then blue here. So click on the outside slider and just adjust it a little. Okay, if I move it all the way here, it's selecting the white wall, so we don't want that much. Out here is probably fine. And then let's set this to 0. And then we can change the color. We can make it more pinky. We can desaturate it. Or let's make it red. Let's bring the saturation back up. Okay, so see how it was orange, now it's more of a red color? Also, we can make it blue. Okay, we see the selection's not perfect here, so again, just click on the plus eyedropper and just select it until it all looks fine. Okay, now let's stick with green. Okay, there. And there you go. That's the hue saturation adjustment layer.